Welcome to St John's for our weekly update. We are approaching the end of the second week of Easter. The Easter season goes for 6 weeks, and throughout that time we reflect on what it is to live the Easter faith. Today I'm standing next to the font. The font here in St John's is placed next to the entrance to the cathedral, and placing it in such a position stands to remind us that it's through baptism that we join the community of the church. I've also chosen to use the font as today's symbol because in the early church people were only baptised at Easter, that becoming a Christian, in a member of the church, was to embrace the idea that you were someone who was going to live the Easter faith, and so you died with Christ as you entered the waters, and you were risen with Christ into the new life, the Easter life, as you came out of the waters. And one of the practices of the early church was, during this time of Easter, was to use a process called mystagogy. And mystagogy meant to explore the mysteries of the faith. In those days, the church operated in a way that's very different to the way many churches do today. Many churches, as they're preparing people for baptism, give them a whole lot of information and instruction, and then the baptism becomes something like a graduation ceremony. You've made it. You've got enough information to join us. Whereas the early church worked on the basis that we come to express our faith most deeply if we are living into the faith and reflecting on our experience. So those who were prepared for baptism in the early church were taken aside Sunday by Sunday before their baptism to reflect on the gospel of the day, to ask how that spoke to their lives. And then they were brought to baptism more or less unprepared for the event that was going to happen. And then they would experience baptism, and after they had been baptised during the Easter season, they would reflect on what had taken place. And so they lived things and then reflected on them. And here at the cathedral we try to embody some of that by asking ourselves reflective questions. You may remember during the height of the COVID-19 lockdown, we asked ourselves questions like, what am I noticing? What am I finding difficult? What has been a gift to me in this experience? So we were actually looking back at our own lives, our lived experience, and seeking to learn from it, and particularly to learn where God was at work in our lives. And so in the early church, the newly baptised would spend 6 weeks reflecting on the mysteries of the faith, what it is to live into a Christian now that you are baptised. What are you finding about the baptised life? What is it like to take communion? In those days, the people being prepared for baptism came to the liturgy of the word, the first half of the service, and then left the assembly to do their reflection, and they were only introduced to the Eucharist and only saw the Eucharist being celebrated after they had been baptised. And so it was a process of experience something, reflect on it, and ask the question, where is God in this? In this past week, a number of significant events have taken place in the life of our nation. On Friday night, His Royal Highness the Duke of Edinburgh died, and then on Saturday we commemorated the 30th anniversary of the Black Deaths in Custody report. In response to the death of His Royal Highness, we have set up a memorial place inside the cathedral because he is a significant figure to so many in our nation, and for many of us he's always been there because the Queen's reign has been so long. Many of us have known nothing but a time when Queen Elizabeth and Prince Philip were around as a pair. So we've set up the memorial place. Advice from Government House is that there not be specific memorials for Prince Philip. They want the funeral to be the celebration of his life and the honouring of his service to the Commonwealth. And so we are honouring that request by simply mentioning His Royal Highness in the prayers. We did that at Evensong on Sunday just gone, and we will be doing that again on Sunday morning. The Governor will be joining us at 9:30 for the service, and he will do the first reading, but the liturgy itself will be the liturgy that we expect on Sunday morning. In Easter, it even includes a baptism, and we will pray for the Prince, give thanks for his life, and pray for the Queen and the royal family. As I mentioned, Saturday was the 30th anniversary of the Black Deaths in Custody report. It's a very significant report, and of course we need to hold the findings of that report before us, because we've been experiencing a number of more black deaths in custody over the past few months, and so it's really disappointing that here we are 3 decades on, and some of the recommendations of that Royal Commission have not been implemented. In Australia, those of us who are later comers, owe incredible debt to the First Peoples of this nation, and I personally spend a lot of time trying to work out how I can actually make amends for what's happened in the past. I mean, I am Australian, I do live here, but there's stuff in our history that needs to be dealt with, and I think the generation who is currently living in this country has the opportunity to do something really significant to help craft a positive future. And part of the way we're going to as part of that, we're going to have to address the fact that the prison population is disproportionately made up of people from our First Nations. On Sunday just gone, because of some administrative hiccups, we weren't able to produce the usual lists for attendance on Sunday, and that turned out to be a real benefit to us, because a number of people learnt how to download and use the Queensland app. And so we're taking the opportunity to encourage people to do that. It's a way of ensuring that your information is kept secure. It's not being recorded on pieces of paper. It's now being recorded in a safe way, and only the Department of Health has access to those details. And we certainly learnt on Sunday, and as we've seen in a couple of funerals and weddings and baptisms, when the majority of people have the Queensland app, the process of arriving and logging in is so much faster. So if you do have a smartphone, please do consider downloading and using the Queensland app. If you're having trouble doing that, one of the stewards will help you do that on Sunday. I know on Sunday a number of the stewards were helping quite a few people download the app, and it's just a piece of cake once you actually have the app on your phone, and it will help our stewards and help us. Numbers coming to worship are improving and growing, and so the more smoothly we can admit people and record their details, the better. So thank you for your cooperation in this matter. On Sunday we will be farewelling Mother Kate. She will preside and preach at 9:30 and preach at 7:30 as well. And after all the services on Sunday, we'll take the opportunity to thank her for her ministry amongst us. There will be a short gathering after the service to pay tribute to Kate and to send her on her way to Bundaberg with our blessing. She's been a great asset to the clergy team, and we're going to miss her a lot. On Tuesday morning we have the next of our free morning concerts. It's at 11 o'clock. It's going to be offered by a group called Duo Libertar, and that features flute and guitar. Should be absolutely gorgeous in this gorgeous space. So let us together enjoy this Easter season, reflecting deeply on what it is to live the baptised life, what it is to be Easter people, to shine as lights in the world, to bring the Christ light to the darkest parts of the world, to be people who are a transforming presence in the world. Thank you for the part you play in this community as we seek to be a transforming, loving and accepting community in the heart of the city of Brisbane. Peace be with you.